What's up, YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists, and disaster strikes? I wasn't recording the sound. I've done a whole load of stuff, namely all the stone first layer on this bad boy. Oh, and it wasn't recording the sound. I am gutted. Not stopping me though. Redoing it. Restarted it. Off we go. We'll come back to the rope work. That stuff that looks like white on those bones. I need to do it on these other two bits. The bits I've been doing the stone on, ironically. It's going to be slightly difficult because of wet paint and so on, but it's alright. It's alright. I will do it. So the bone bridge is still being done. But I might interject it with something else as well. Now, okay, I might do this guy, bit of skin on him. I don't know what just some sort of old school miniature that I wanted to paint. Anyway, this is on the beach. This is the paint along series that you put it in the background. We talk about all sorts of stuff. Sometimes there's big gaps of silence whilst I'm concentrating, but to be fair, you're probably concentrating as well. I've got stuff to talk about again now. Anyway, strap yourselves in and let's get to the bench. Here we are then. Oh, so irritating. That is so flipping irritating. It's untrue. Now, I don't want to zoom in a bit more for this. Probably, yeah. Oh, right. Right, I'm going to be using some Jasper skin as a base for whatever he is, Knight. I'm just going to mix it up on my electronic paint shaker. God, I love that paint shaker. Right, Jasper skin. Let's go. Put way too much in the palette, but I don't care. I don't care. Right. I can't believe that. I was doing so well. I thought I was doing all right, painting and talking and etc., blah blah blah. And now, go and do that. Well, whatever. I'm a bit miffed, if I'm honest. Looking for a suitable brush. I might try this one, this Tri-Grip Detailer, size 1. Might be too big actually. Might be too big. Right, we're going to a small layer brush. That's what we're doing. Okay. Oh man. So, how's your week's been? Asking you again, because I've already done this shit. How's your week's been? What are you working on? I've already asked that as well. I know you don't believe me, but I have. Bloody well have asked that. Right. this brush is awful. Splayed right out. Terrible. Well, whatever. Well, I've put some skin colour on there, I suppose you'd call it. Right. I'm actually glad he's got gloves on. That's the only skin to do. Yeah, like that. Gah. Right, I do not want to use that brush again. That's awful. I'm getting rid of it. Yeah. So frivolous I am. Look, got rid of it just like that. Okay. Going back to the bone bridge now. We're going back to the rope that I was talking about, which has been done mostly on this one. Yeah, there's bone to be touched up on that, but we'll come back to that. White grey is the colour, so I'm just going to shake that one up. Ready? Marvellous machine! Marvellous machine. Absolutely love it. Okay. Quite thin as is, but I am going to stick a bit of water in it. Cough coming up. Excuse me. Oh. Okay, a bit more, just a little more. Okay, right, what to talk about then? Right, been watching a series called Person of Interest. Might have mentioned it in previous episodes. I don't know. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But I really like it. I enjoy it. That is the kind of the series I'm watching at the moment, alongside Boston Legal, which is a little bit more light-hearted. William Shatner in that one. It's quite funny, actually. I do find him quite funny in it. I don't. Yeah, you know, it's there's some serious issues that it contends with, but it does it in quite a good way, I think. I'm just going to zoom out slightly. And there. Otherwise, you don't. It's not a wide enough angle. Obviously, it's about lawyers and blah blah blah, legal profession, all that jazz. But yeah, it ain't bad. Good old yarn, can be. Some Alan Shaw as a character that played by James Spader. So you got James Spader and William Shatner. William Shatner plays a character called Denny Crane. He's like he was a brilliant lawyer. He's now fighting Alzheimer's, but he's still managing to pull pretty neat feats off. He's terrified about losing his mind and his identity and blah 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 blah. And it's all, you know, like, it goes from being humorous to serious in a heartbeat. I suppose that's one of the things I quite like about it. Characters are quite likeable. Don't take themselves too seriously. I like that. That appeals to me. If you're gonna take yourself seriously, you gotta know what you're doing. No, I'm not saying Boston Legal doesn't know what it's doing. In fact, it does. It very much knows what it's doing, but it's purposely doing it. Right. So the weather. I think I was going to talk about that as well. The weather. It's been a bit shit, to be honest. Yesterday, for instance, the weather didn't seem to know what it wanted to do. It couldn't make its mind up whether it wanted to rain or shine. You know, it was literally blazing heat, sun, 1 minute. 2 minutes later, you know, we took poor Dylan out. 2 minutes into the walk, hammer down with rain, get drenched, and you can't just wear your coats anyway because it's too hot with the sun out. Literally too hot, and so we got wet. We got wet. That's the way of things, you know. Okay. A lot of rope work to do here. Fortunately, it's going to have the same wash that the bone paint has on it as well, which is good. Well, another film we're gonna. Well, I've ordered it on 4K because my wife's never seen it, and she expressed an interest in seeing it after we were talking about Clint Eastwood and so on. And that's Dirty Harry. Do you remember those movies? Excellent classics. Yeah. So we've got that to look forward to. There are quite a few Dirty Harry movies made, I believe. I think the first one is the best, though. It's always the classic, usually the way, isn't it? Right. Do. So let me know what you're working on. I know I've said that, but I'm saying it again because I do like to read what people are working on. It makes me happy. And then I can see their updates on their various social sites, whatever, whether it's YouTube or whatever. I don't do Facebook though, so if it's on Facebook, I will not see it. Genuinely despise Facebook. I think it's a hateful site. I really do. Just my opinion. Came off it years ago. Oh, boy, am I glad I did. Boy, am I glad I did. A lot of rope here. do. Well, that's good. You got to do it. Yeah, I got to do it on the other piece as well. So it looks to me like I'll be doing rope for this episode. But that's what these videos are all about, you see. Get an hour of it, because just doing rope, it's boring as heck. Bad enough doing the grey on the stones, because I've got to do several more lighter ones of that at some point, and a wash. It's good to get those boring tasks out of the way. But this is good to concentrate on and focus, and good for one's mental health. Right, okay. You miss the odd one here and there. Good to get these rope done. It breaks up the brown, I find, which is good. And you don't have to get it exactly. This rope, it's you know, you can cover up mistakes with a wash. You know, it's quite forgiving, you know. You still see me? Yeah, that's good. Good, 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 good. Alright, okay. I think I'm having burgers for tea tonight. Possibly burgers from the butcher. It is always a nice meal. Do enjoy a good burger. Okay, I think we're pretty much good to go. Right, what's that one? No, let's have a look at this one, shall we? I'm glad there's no bits of rope on his horns there. I think that might have been a little problematic. So those are the two things we're watching. Are you guys watching anything? That might be handy actually. Are you guys watching any series at the moment that, you know, binge watching or whatever? I'm always on the lookout for cool series, you know. As you know, I watched The Mentalist a while ago. That was one of the best series I've seen in many years. Loved that series, The Mentalist. If you know of anything like that, and I'm enjoying Person of Interest right now. I love detective stuff, crime, mysteries, as long as it's not too daft. Right. You still see me here? Yes, you can. Good. Okie dokie. Friend of mine's just bought himself a Toshiba MSX 8-bit computer from back in the day, one he used to own. He owned that model, and I guess I kind of talked him, encouraged, I should say, encouraged him to do it, because as you know, I'm a huge nostalgia buff. My shelves are full of nostalgic things, which have great meaning for me personally. And he can be a bit, I shouldn't spend that, But I just encourage him to do it. It's not. Let's put it this way: it's not like he can't afford it. And as I rightfully said to him, and I'll stand by what I said, you know, you need the money at some point. You can still sell it. You invest. It's not going to go down in price. It's an investment, mate. One you can enjoy, and it's a working computer he's got. So he's bought himself some of the games he used to have as a child as well. Namely a cartridge called Nemesis. I think it was also called Gradius in some countries or areas, but yeah, Nemesis. He showed me a video of him playing it recently, yesterday actually. I thought, well done you. Yeah, well done you, mate. I bet he's on nostalgia overdrive right now. Computers, I don't know, they've got a certain charm about them. And being cartridge based, you won't have to wait long for it to load like you would with a cassette. Because that can destroy some of the old magic from your childhood. Because you forget the agonising wait of trying to load a cassette in. You forget how long and agonising it was. It was painful sometimes. But yeah, with the cartridge, it's pretty much instant. So you can get instant gratification with his nostalgia trip. I actually envy him, for it. If I had the space, I'd go for a retro computer room. I would. Yeah, I think I would. I'm quite eccentric like that, and I would do that. Well, I'd make sure they were running operational and that. I'd get them all recapped and stuff and electronically tested and, fine and dandy, etc., etc. Yeah, it must be. I mean, he's just doing it with the MSX, so. I mean, I would have all my computers set up in a computer room like we used to have in my school. We used to have this room, it's just called the computer room. I mean, it's full of BBC Micro Model Bs. Because they had a Acorn stuff. I mean, they had some sort of government deal sponsorship thing where they would provide computers to schools at a discount. And a lot of people, their first taste of programming was BBC Basic, which was actually one of the better ones. And I have to say that, and I hate to say it because I'm a huge Sinclair fan. I'm a diehard fan of Sinclair Basic. Having wrote a lot of programs myself back in the day as a boy, for the machine, I have to say BBC Basic was a little bit superior. It was brilliant. It was easier. There we go. I think that's pretty much it. Well, I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to say that's done with the rope colour. Now, what I'm going to do is some touch up on the jack bone. And I'm going to take this from the pot, just dampness of the brush sort of thing. Look for areas that need touching up, basically. Found some. My dog is currently having his sofa time with my wife. They're watching movies. Oh, well, they're watching something together on the TV downstairs because they can hear it. That's their time. It's like my cat and my dog have this arrangement. You know, they got this arrangement. They sort of share the downtime of the living room area, and it works. You know, it works for the most part. Just does. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Don't think so. Let's have a look for some touch-ups I can do whilst I can. It's amazing how much difference a little touch up can do when when you make a mistake and you think, oh, it looks awful. You go back and you start touching it up. Well, sometimes you can touch that with the next layer, can't you? And it just looks so much better. It's like, yeah, that works. Well, my wife's made flapjacks again today. I love when my wife makes flapjacks. They are amazing. Yeah. I wonder what we're going to watch later. Probably Persons of Interest because it's just a good series. It doesn't take itself too seriously either, and it's a good old yarn, as we like to say, my wife and I, about things that don't take themselves too seriously. Because in certain things like that you just can't. But like I say, it's a good old yarn. Right. I'll have a look soon. Well, I'll have a look now, actually. 33 minutes. That's not as long as I thought it was going to say, and that's because I had to stop before because the audio wasn't recording, and that was a blow. It's okay. Leave it there for a minute. I will touch up this foot because it's all painted over in grey. We don't want that. I can hear the seagulls. A lot of the babies are hatched around here, which I'm surprised about. Seems a little early to me for that, but I could be wrong, of course. Seagulls I'm talking about here now. Okay, be careful here. Don't want to go too far with it. Whoa. Right. And now the head bit. Trouble is, you get shadows cast by the lights. Do you find that when you're hobbying? unless you've got lights positioned at every possible angle, it can cast inconvenient shadows, shall I say. Yeah, inconvenient shadows. Oh dear. So today is Saturday. I've recorded these on the beaches on a Saturday last few times. Seems to have worked quite well. I'm not always well enough to film them, though. That's primarily due to a lack of energy. It's the main reason I don't have. I'm not able to do them. It's just a lack of energy. Certainly getting the worst areas that need touch-ups done. So the more you get done, I think the more you can see the following time. Because sometimes it's good to come back with fresh eyes, isn't it? I think it is anyway. That's my own view. Still see that there? Yeah, good. Right. A lot of areas on this difficult to reach with a brush. Plus also a lot of these are shadows are playing tricks on me now. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Put the lid back on the jack bone. And maybe I will come back to this dude here. Right flesh shade, I think he will need. A flesh wash of some description. Oh. Bear with me. P3 flesh wash, that'll do. Oh, seat playing up. I do to get myself a new seat sometime. Right. Okay, flesh wash. Okay, let's stab that on there. That isn't bad, actually. Not bad at all. I'm not going to be painting eyes on this character. There, done. Done that. Right. Now I'm waiting to see what I'm going to do next. Do I go with washes on all of these? I think I need to just double check all the ropes. So that's what I'm going to do, go around, check that all the ropes I am happy with. Do you know, I'm actually looking forward to my burger tonight. Oh, burger. Might do some chips with it. Burger and chips. Yum, yum, yum. Seeing more bone that needs touching up. I think you could be doing this forever, couldn't you, really? Not too bad there. Let's try this one. Then it's probably more on that one. I'm going to go back to jack bone because I keep seeing areas of that I've missed. I am going to put a wash on. Couldn't distinguish if that was shadow or over splash of paint. I think it was paint. Okay. I hear gates being closed downstairs. That could mean time's pressing on. It could be getting towards tea time. I don't know. I honestly didn't check my phone for that. Right, I think that's good. Okay, 45 minutes. I think we're in a good position here, actually. I've really got to work out what I do next. Oh, it's 5:28. My dog's probably getting a little bit restless, so I think I might end it here. You know, I know it's a shorter one, guys, but having looked at what's here now, ready for, you know, the next whatever it's going to be. I don't know whether it goes that way around or that way. I really don't know. I think it goes that way around, actually. Not sure. Anyway, how cool is that going to look when it's fully painted and I can get miniatures going across it and whatever else? I mean, I'm tempted to glue it together as one, but it might be easier to store in having it in separate pieces like that. I don't know, but that is something I got to think about another time. Anyway, I'm going to end it here, so let's cut back to me. So thank you ever so much for watching this episode of On the Beach with Pete. Like I say, I know it's a shorter one than usual, but in reality I've spent a lot longer than usual doing it. But I still think it's enough time to get some good stuff done. Even half an hour is enough time to get a few bits and bobs done on your projects, and I'm very pleased with what I've accomplished here today. So thank you very much for watching. Do give the video a thumbs up, share if you can, but a thumbs up would be very, very much appreciated. Don't forget, all brushes lead to water. I'll see you on another video. Bye for now. Bye bye.